The GameCube was the first console I actually purchased for myself. I mean, my dad had an Atari 2600 and I was given a Game Boy for Christmas, but my first home console that I purchased with my own money to play at home was a GameCube. So let's go through my GameCube collection. And I want to know in the comments down below what games you would recommend for my collection. What should I pick up and add to it? And we'll see if I can find them at the Midwest Gaming Classic. All right, so first up, I like to collect some oddities. So I've got a preview disc here that's got Sonic DX, Beautiful Joe, Splinter Cell, Billy Hatcher, Soul Calibur 2 on it. So it's a pretty easy one to find, and I just think it's a cool piece to have for your collection if you don't have yet. Also have the Star Wars Rebel Strike preview disc. This one has a full copy of an Atari 2600 game on there. So I think this is just a cool one to pick up if you need something unique for your collection. And now on to actual games. Got Yu-Gi-Oh! Falsebound Kingdom. I definitely threw a lot of hours into this game growing up, and even though it's not an actual dual battle game, I think it's a great RPG to play. Beautiful Joe here, I've actually never played through all the way, but I found a really cruddy copy on eBay. All I did was swap out the case and clean it up, and it actually looks beautiful now. So the cover art was totally fine, it's just the case they had it in was awful. It was trash. Tales of Symphonia, this is actually a game I added from a lot. I have a really old video where I bought GameCube games off of eBay, and this was in there, so I actually haven't played through this, but again, Tales of Symphonia. Man, I sunk so many hours into this one as a kid. And that was Super Smash Bros. Melee, and I remember playing with friends. We left the console on to get the Mewtwo, and we did all the things to get the characters, and yeah, I could just play this for hours. I could still throw this in and play it for hours. Super Mario Sunshine, and I guess I still have my little price sticker on there from when I picked it up at a store in Iowa, but yeah, Super Mario Sunshine, it's got a re-release on the Switch. I think you could play it on either one, and it's an okay way to play it. Star Fox Assault. Now, I was not allowed to play shooting games growing up, but I convinced my parents to let me get this one, and it was addictive. I really like this one, and it does have a good 4-player split screen if you wanted to play with your buddies. Here we have the OG Spider-Man. We don't really get a lot of good movie games anymore, but this was based off of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Yeah, it's in the collection. Sonic Mega Collection. Now this one's a pretty good way if you haven't played any of the original Sonic games from like the Genesis era. It's a good way to play them, pick them up. This is usually relatively cheap, so definitely grab that one. Play your Sonic and Knuckles, Sonic 3D, Pinball, all that fun stuff. This one is actually the very first GameCube game I bought, and between me and my sister, I don't even know how many hours we put in, but that's Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. She played the Chow Gardens all the time, I played the actual levels, but yeah, this is probably one of my absolute favorite games on the console. And then this one, I got a little bit of discount on because it's got a sun-faded spine, but it's fine otherwise, and that's Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a weird game because you're actually Sonic and Shadow with guns. It's kind of weird. Expensive games. XD Gale of Darkness. I grabbed this Pokemon game off of eBay right before everything hit the fan, and so I think I grabbed this for $60, and I think anyone would just knock over and faint if you could pick this up for that price now. Unlike XD Gale of Darkness, I actually completed this one, and that's Pokemon Coliseum, and I really enjoy this game. I really enjoy both the darker mechanics and stealing people's Pokemon. It's unique. I like the unique stuff. Another one that's only gone up in price since I acquired this, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. I honestly think this is the best Paper Mario to play, and it is worth your time to pick up a copy or emulator. Do whatever you need to play this game. This game I picked up basically because I remember renting it from what store was it? Hollywood Video. Hollywood Video, that's Over the Hedge, and it's just a cheesy, game based off of the movie, but I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed running around as a raccoon and a squirrel and a turtle and hitting stuff with a golf club. This one I've never actually gotten to play because when I got it on a trade, I didn't realize you need a microphone, and that's Odama. So this is Nintendo's pinball game that they made and had a weird quirk where you actually need a microphone in order to play it. I played a ton of racing games growing up, so Need for Speed Underground 2. I loved customizing my cars in this and then just go drifting around corners. This one was great. And then even better than that one, Need for Speed Most Wanted. I did go through and beat this game, and man, this one was the bomb. I remember tricking out my Lamborghini all the time, and honestly, this is probably my favorite Need for Speed game. And then Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2, I don't have an extreme attachment to this one, but this is when I remember playing with friends and we'd try to avoid the cops, or one of us would be the cop in the other car and try to outrun the other, and yeah. And then I was really into NASCAR. So NASCAR Dirt to Daytona. I had this one specifically because I wanted to race on the dirt track feel. And then some of the EA ones, they got rid of the dirt track once EA was making the NASCAR games. So Dirt to Daytona. And then this one got some recent popularity because somebody actually pulled off a move you could pull off in the game. And that's NASCAR 2005 Chase for the Cup. You can go find it online. Somebody literally rode the wall to slingshot around to get into the final race of the year. Yeah, it's really funny. You could pull that off in this game really easily, but nobody had pulled it off in real life before until this last year. This one's not in great shape. The cover art's damaged, but Naruto Clash of the Ninja. I'd like to get the second one because I've heard the second one is better. But yeah, this is just your typical beat each other up game. This is another one I found at a great deal. I need to clean up the case still, but that's Metroid Prime with the demo disc for the second game. So this came along later in the life cycle of the original Metroid Prime. Had the demo for the second one with it to try to entice people to get ready for the next one. This was also one of the first GameCube games I got, and it was probably one of the most frustrating games I got, which was Mega Man Network Transmission. If you've never played it, this game can be brutal for a kid to try to beat. Like, the bosses are unforgiving, and you will die. Mario Superstar Baseball. Don't have a lot to say about this one. I played it with friends and growing up, and I always lost. But I have memories, so I got a copy. This is one that I feel like is underrated. I wish they'd bring back the mechanic, and that's Mario Kart Double Dash. I really do enjoy switching characters, and the fact that I used the broadband connector, that was kind of cool. So you could do a link cable with a bunch of friends, but yeah. This game I never really played on the GameCube, but Madden 2005, it's Madden. They're all the same at this point. This one is another game that was, just based off the movie, and that's Madagascar. Activision did that a lot in this era, so just go around doing some of the things from the movies and some weird platforming things, but yeah. There's this one. Luigi's Mansion, and this one, man, this is probably my favorite Luigi's Mansion game. I do have the 3 different ones, Dark Moon, and I have 3 on the Switch, but this one just always had a special place for me. Yeah, this one's great. I love it. If you haven't noticed yet, I do have a lot of Player's Choice games just because they're cheaper to get, and Lord of the Rings 2 Towers, no exception, a little bit cheaper because it's Player Choice, but yeah, I remember getting my butt kicked in this game too. I don't know what it was. I was just never very good at running along the story and not dying. But still a fun game. This is one I picked up out of a lot, and it's Looney Tunes back in action. Just a weird one-player cartoony game. That's it. I put a lot of hours in this game, but they've had many releases since then. So that's Lego Star Wars, and this is just the OG one where you don't have the full series, but still fun. Still a good one to play. This game I just recently picked up. Someone was selling a lot of 360 games on Marketplace, and they just had a few random games from other consoles in there, and there happened to be PlayStation 2 and GameCube stuff in it. And one of those games was Twilight Princess, so I definitely had to snag that because they only asked like $150 for everything. And so after I sold off what I didn't want, I basically got this for free. This one came to me in a trade along with another game for a bunch of PlayStation 2 stuff. So that would be Zelda Collector's Edition. I basically wanted this one to play Majora's Mask on the big screen. I have a Majora's Mask for 3DS, but I'm keeping it sealed because I feel like it might be the last time we get a physical copy of Majora's Mask. So this one is not sealed. I'll play it on this. And then the other game I got in the trade was a Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Yeah, I've never gotten to play through this game, but I never thought I would get my hands on this one. So I'm excited to actually play this one. And then I've got more movie-based games. So that's Harry Potter games. I've got Harry Potter Goblet of Fire, Prisoner of Azkaban, Chamber of Secrets, and Quidditch World Cup. Yes, I am missing Harry Potter 1. That's actually the most expensive one you can get for the GameCube for Harry Potter games. They just didn't print enough copies, honestly. And it's kind of weird. The first Harry Potter game, it's different on every console. So the Game Boy Color version, the Game Boy Advance, the PlayStation 1 version, the GameCube version, they're all different. And it's kind of weird. They all have their own little quirks. So, Harry Potter games. This one I got recently from a sketchy eBay listing. I just kind of took a shot on it because eBay money back guarantee, but it actually came complete in box, and that was Geist. And this is one of those weird Nintendo games where we're just never going to get a re-release on it, where you possess people in order to advance in the game. So you're a Geist. just weird concept. Yeah. This one I got on a whim, and I still need to get the price tag off of it, but that's Street Style Street Soccer. I'm sure it's terrible because it's a soccer game, and I think it was rated like a 44 on Metacritic, but soccer. This one I picked up because I actually have the bongos, DK Jungle Beat. I got both of my sets of bongos from Goodwill. One of them I think was $5. I just found sitting on a shelf. The other one I got on like the Goodwill website. I think I paid $20 for a CIB set. So, and they came in really good condition. So yeah, I had to pick up Jungle Beat so I could actually test them out and confirm they worked. And you know, Jungle Beat's actually a good game with the controller too. You can play it either way. And this one is another one of those frustrating ones from my childhood where I could just like never fully understand it or beat it, and that's Digimon World 4. And this one's seen a little bit of a price spike recently, but it's settled down again. Yeah, I was just bad at this game. Then we have Dave Mira 2 Freestyle. Kind of reminds me of Tony Hawk, except you're on a bicycle. Then this one I remember renting from the store from my Hollywood Video and thinking it was awesome. That was Custom Robo. And I think I just played it nonstop to beat it. And honestly, it's a good storyline. If you're wanting a unique game, they're just not making more Custom Robo games. We got this one, and then we got a 3DS game and a DS game, and that was kind of it. The first one's on the 64, but was never localized in the US. Then we have Cars. This one's actually a decent racing game on the GameCube, so even though it is a movie game, it is still a good one for the GameCube, and I completely recommend it. And then last one, because we hit an Avatar craze when it came to Netflix, and that's Avatar The Last Airbender. Can't say much about it. There's, you know, this was the first one, and it's probably the worst running one, but it still starts at the beginning of the story, so yeah. Alright, so that's my GameCube collection. That's everything I got. Let me know what I'm missing. What should I look for at the Midwest Gaming Classic? And we'll see if I can pick any of those things up. I definitely want to look for a copy of Mario Strikers. So that's like #1 GameCube on my list. But other than that, let me know in the comments down below, and we'll catch you next time. If you want to watch something else, YouTube thinks you should watch one of these videos that are going to appear here somewhere. I don't know where yet. But maybe there's a video here. Maybe it's down here. Maybe you should watch one of them because YouTube thinks you're going to like them.